I found Evan about 3 years ago through YouTube. I was going through a massive kick on how to just basically improve my life, and I came across him while looking for a Tony Robbins video, one that he put up. It's a couple of years back. You might want to have a check it out. It's a pretty good video. I followed him for quite a while. He was a very good mentor. And I think he's got a lot to give. There's a lot of messages in there, and he certainly helped me discover and start my path. I've now gone on a different route from when I originally started, and so has he. We've both grown, and I think that's terrific. I think we both need to grow. But this was my podcast with him, and he was actually one of the ones that helped me start getting my podcast. He was the one who said, right, if you can get 19 guests, well, if you can get 18 guests, I'll be your 19th. And I actually got more than that. So I always like to deliver the extra. So this is him delivering on his word and me just going with it and seeing what I can learn.
Welcome everybody to another episode of A Cuppa with. As you've now changed the name to A Cuppa with because it's not always just me, and today I have a guest and I'm very excited to let him introduce himself.
All right. Well, thank you. Great to be here. My name is Evan Carmichael. I have a YouTube channel. I have, what do I have? I don't know. I've got some books. I want to inspire 1 billion entrepreneurs trying to change the world, solve the world's biggest problem, untapped human potential. I'm just excited to be here. This is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I really do appreciate that. As you know, this, or if you hadn't known, if this is anybody's first episode of listening, my passion, my drive, my purpose is mental health, and how one day I would love to see the end of stigma, to basically put myself out of a podcast, basically put myself out of doing this entirely, really, and then I'd just find something new to do. But to be fair, this is my main drive. What is your views on mental health and how important it is?
I think we're not having enough conversations around it, to be honest. So it's awesome that you're doing this. I had a therapist come in and we did a live Instagram session a couple weeks ago around EFT, emotional freedom tapping.
I saw that one. That was a good one.
And she's also a therapist and asking me about what I'm afraid of and trying to tap it away. There's lots of techniques and there's lots of different things you can try. I think trying them is important. I think sitting on your problems and being too ashamed to share them, I think just makes everything worse. And so I think if you're chasing happiness, then mental health is the game, you know, and understanding where you might need to get some help, not just assuming you know how to do everything. And whether that's seeing a therapist or doing some self-assessments or listen to a podcast or whatever it is, invest in yourself to improve your mental health, I think is super important.
You stood on the word of pursuing happiness. Now, there is a contrast between that, because a lot of people like, well, happiness you can't always have happiness. And a lot of people go with the content route. I'd rather be content than happy. But with contentness comes a side ally of happiness. What's your opinions of it?
So I think there's two things. I think you can raise your baseline level of happiness, which is the work that you do every day. And so I think by surrounding yourself with people who bring you up, who lift you up, having a daily routine, having a practice, whether it's meditation or reading or whatever the thing is that helps you be more happy. And that's where I think also diving into the mental health world to better understand yourself can raise your baseline happiness, so that people ask me all the time, why are you always so happy? Why do you have so much energy? Why are you so optimistic? Well, I've raised my baseline happiness so that I don't wake up on most days and say, man, life sucks.
Yeah.
I'm usually in a pretty happy spot. But that's the accumulation of lots of exposure to different things that make me happy. So I think you can slowly raise your baseline over time. Then I think there's still what happens in the moment. You know, if my mom gets hit by a truck, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be pretty depressed. And that will last a while, probably.
Yeah.
If I get stuck at a red light, I may lose some happiness for a couple moments and then bring it back. And same thing on the happiness scale. If you're at a rock concert and you're jamming out, that will temporarily raise your happiness level, but then you still fall back. And so what I'm trying to do is raise my baseline consistently, bit by bit by bit by bit, and then seek the experiences and the opportunities to have the highs, and hopefully not have too many lows along the way.
Have you had any lows that helped you build that baseline, like major ones that everybody tends to look back? If they do look back, there's always like certain aspects of their own mental health that helped raise that baseline for them.
So I think your purpose comes from your pain, and the thing that drives you to do the work that you do is based out of pain. As much as I think, for me, I help entrepreneurs, as much as I think entrepreneurs are going to solve all the world's major problems, which I believe, the pain was I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, and I don't want other people to have to struggle as much as I did and feel as alone as I did. And so that's why I do what I do. Yeah. And so it ends up being the ultimate fuel for happiness. Yeah. And so when you have struggled with something, some people succumb to it and they feel they're never going to get out of it, where the actual path out of it is to help other people who are going through it. Yeah. So I love helping entrepreneurs, especially the startup entrepreneurs, because that's what I remember, and the pain and how much that sucked. Yeah. And so I don't want other people to have to feel that same suffering. And so I never fully get away from the unpleasant feelings, because I now feel it in other people. But in helping them is the ultimate gift. It's the ultimate happiness for me. And so if you figured out what was super painful in your life and something that you never would like to repeat, or you would never wish on your worst enemy, that ends up becoming your purpose, to help people not ever have to experience that, or if they are experiencing it, for you to reach down and lift them up and show them how to get through it.
So turning your negative into a positive.
I think ultimately that's what it is. I think that works on a small scale as well as on a big scale. Oh yeah. When something negative happens, I have maybe I'm a weird duck. We'll see how well this works with you or your audience. But when something negative happens, I will complain for 7.5 seconds and say, "This sucks. This is the worst thing of all time." And then I'll switch something in my head that says, "This is the best." Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've seen this is my chance to learn and grow. So, as an example, I'm on an airplane recently. I'm heading down to LA to speak at an event, and there's a really smelly guy next to me. Like really smelly. Like I'm sure he just had some overnighter or something, and just was brutal. So okay, what are my options? I can not get on the plane, and then I miss my flight. Yeah. You know, and catch the next one, and then I'm late for my conference. Or I'm stuck on this plane for 5 hours with this really smelly guy. So I complain and I get frustrated in my head, like, oh, I can't believe this, for 7.5 seconds, and then switch. This is the best. Yeah. Right. And then this is the really weird duck. I'll look over to him and, like I'll breathe it in. Right. Like yeah. Like this smell is not going to own, but that's how you actually make it the best. Yeah. Like this smell is not going to own me. Like that smelly guy is not going to own me. This is the best. Yeah. And then actually make it the best. And so, think that one smelly person can ruin your entire day. That's crazy. I'm not letting that happen. Yeah. This is my chance to grow. If that smelly guy beats me, then I suck. Yeah. And I'm not letting that happen. So that's how I go little crazy. May not fit everybody, but I do believe that a lot of your best highs in life come as a result of conquering pains. And then I think humans are built to serve. So the more you can serve others in conquering their pains, the more happy you'll be to do.
I also in the way that you described, obviously going to talk and all that lot, and then there's a smelly guy. Yeah. It kind of comes from the expectations of you being get on, chill, relax, then get there and everything's fine. Where it comes from, the disruption is where something unexpected happens when you've expected something to happen. Now, I've seen this related to everything, but especially it really hits home with people's mental health when they've expected something and it doesn't go their way, or they've planned it down to the key, but you can't essentially plan for every aspect of life. You also can't plan for every aspect of your mental health. People have anxiety attacks out of nowhere. And I've seen that how that really does affect people. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. Tony Robbins has the approach of trade your expectations for appreciation.
Okay.
So instead of looking at what you expected, look at what can you be grateful for. So I'm next to smelly dude on the airplane. I'm on an airplane. Like I get to fly to LA. In the past, I'd have to take a 3-week journey on horseback to get there. Like, this is amazing. I'm flying through the sky. That doesn't work as well for me. But it's definitely, I use it's the best.
Yeah.
I like the challenge. I want the challenge. I want to feel good about myself for conquering the challenge. So that works for me. But that's another tool.
Yeah.
Right? And that tool can work really well for some people. Like, I'm giving you one tool. Tony's giving you another tool. Other people give, I'm sure Oprah has tools, and lots of people have their own tools.
Yeah.
You try them all and you see what works. Like, maybe trade your expectations for appreciation is actually the thing that for people in your audience will resonate more with. And my crazy duck strategy, it's like 0.5% of people.
Actually, you've touched on something I wouldn't mind going a little bit in deep for. And it is a lot of people I've noticed that seem to be mimicking and copying each other. Now, I've heard you speak many a times, if you're just copying somebody, you're just a duplicate of them, and they're only them, so you're going to just be a poor version of them because only they can be them. I've heard you speak about this before, but I've noticed there is a lot of, because even on your channel as well, you speak about find a role model and copy them. Now, I've noticed that a lot of people try and copy successful people, but it really doesn't work because they're trying to copy the whole person rather than taking key aspects. And I feel like people have lost the message within copying role model is easy to say and just copy the whole person and go. I can see people being utterly destroyed when it doesn't work for them. But they're not looking at the aspects of the person. They're looking at the person as a whole. Do you think a lot of messages have got lost within that understanding?
So, like a lot of questions, I see two sides of the coin here. The first side is, yes, you're right. I think copying somebody is a shortcut, but it only gets you 80% of the way. Yeah. I think if you're launching a new podcast and you're trying to do interviews, then it makes sense to copy Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. Right? Yeah. How does she ask questions? How does she make guests feel comfortable? It makes sense to copy Larry King. It makes sense to look at Tim Ferriss or whoever else is running these top podcasts. It makes sense to even copy their exact questions and try on the hat just to see how it feels. Yeah. So Tim asked that question. Okay, I'm going to ask that question. How does it feel? It felt good? Like, not quite. Okay. And that gets you 80% of the way, and you get there so much faster than you just trying to come up with everything yourself. Yeah. The last 20% you have to figure out for yourself. You gotta take what Oprah's doing and then make it your own somehow. You gotta play with it. Yeah. And that's where people fall short. If all you're doing is copying, you're never gonna ultimately win. But copying gets you 80% of the way. The other thing I'm seeing though is that to the point of copying one person, hoping that they're everything. What it also means is that you shut out people who can teach you, but they have something you don't like about them, and so you don't follow them. The amount of people who won't listen to Oprah because she's a black woman is crazy. Like, she's got something to teach you. Or I've got Kanye on the wall behind me, and people look at Kanye and say, well, he's crazy and says really loudmouth, ridiculous things. Yes, and there's a lot that you could actually learn from him as well if you didn't have your biases so far up front. And so, I love Steve Jobs. He's on my wall. I don't want to be a father like Steve Jobs was a father. He's not my role model there. Yeah. But being a visionary, yes. Yeah. And so understanding that you can learn different things from different people, even if you agree, even if you disagree with 95% of the things that they're saying, you can still learn something from their success that you can apply it to yourself. And the real growth, I think, comes when you can learn to take somebody that you hate and learn something from them. Like, take the person that you hate the most. Let's say it's Donald Trump. If you hate Donald Trump, find something that you can learn from Donald Trump. Because even if you hate that guy, you can still learn something from him to make your life better.
I completely agree. It is something that I've noticed a lot of just lately, especially with delving into this world of podcasting and interacting with a lot of different people. And I found that there is a lot of people that put themselves down when they can't copy the person as a whole. And I've said to them, why are you trying to copy the full person? If you like the way that they do certain stuff, you're only going to like that certain stuff. You're not going to be able to live the life they lead, because you might not be able to keep up with their schedule, and then you're having to go at yourself internally because you can't do the same thing. Well, you're not them. And I've seen it slowly eat away at people that like they're on a constant catch up. Like they feel like, oh, I'm not doing it the same way as other people. I've had people say it to me of, I don't know how you do all this. Like I'm always failing. I was like, but who are you trying to do it for? Are you trying to do it so you can keep up with what I'm doing or what the person that you're watching is doing? Or are you doing it because it's something you want to do? And it just seems like people are very much within the, I'm just trying to keep up with everybody, with whoever they're specifically watching. Because I've noticed they'll always pick one. They might have others, but they'll pick one person and then go, well, they're doing it all, why can't I? And it literally just eats away at them. And it's not nice to see. I'd love to see a change in that.
Well, I think the best way to approach it is to kick yourself forward, not down.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can learn from multiple people, and you want to learn one thing from Oprah and one thing from Tim Ferriss and one thing from whoever to make yourself better. Awesome. But it's going to take a long time to get to that level, and you may not ever get there. Like, you may never get to the point where you are as empathetic as Oprah Winfrey. It may never happen. But it's a kick forward to show you what's possible instead of a kick down to say that you suck. The kick is helpful, because if you don't get a kick, then you just stay where you are. If you think everything's great and, you know, I'm okay with my podcast that has 10 people listening to it and it never grows, and you're not like, we need the kick to make progress. But you want it to be a kick down, not down, kick forward, not down. You want to kick forward, not down. So look, I love Les Brown. Young Les Brown from a speaker is my hero. The current Les Brown is like a grandfatherly, like jokey, which I like, but young Les Brown is fire. That's who I look up to from a speaker perspective. It's a sign of what's possible. I look at him like, wow, he's really great as a speaker. And that pushes me forward to get better, because I know that is possible. I may never get there. Like, I may never be as good as he is at doing that thing, ever. But that's okay. It's pushing me in a forward direction where I feel that it's possible, as opposed to, I'm never going to get there, I suck, I might as well just quit. And so learning to push yourself forward instead of down, I think is really critical.
I agree. I would love to. That's why when I talk to people a lot, I'm just like, do what you can do for you. And if you fail, at least, it's not even failing. The only time it's failing is if you stop. That's my opinion. Is if you're only failing if you stop. If you realise that doesn't work for you, just realise what doesn't work for you. You've still learned something. So don't beat yourself up about it. You tried something that a lot of people don't even have the courage to do that. You've tried something. I've seen within mental health and different techniques and all that lot, and I've seen people go, well, that didn't work, I just give up. Well, there are other routes. There are different things to try. Just because one thing doesn't work doesn't mean to say another thing. There is always different options, but people get so stuck in one didn't work, I give up, that's it. You know, like, I'd love to see more people encouraging each other to go, no, what about this? Or have you seen somebody doing that? That might work for you. Or I've seen this program, this could work for you. It's having those conversations of understanding each other, of you can keep going forward. It's not, you know, the only time you're going to stop is if you actually stop. And I'd love to see more of that.
I think it's just a mindset issue. I think most people are looking for a no instead of a yes. I think most people want the thing not to work.
They just don't want it to work. They don't want to change.
I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. So they're looking for the first no instead of looking for the yes. There's a million reasons why something's not going to work, and 8 reasons why it will.
Yeah.
And I choose to focus on the 8 instead of the million. And so you could tell somebody, hey, to get going, you really need to get on Instagram. You know, get on Instagram. It's going to help your business grow. You need to get marketing on Instagram. Oh, I don't want to get on Instagram, Lynn. No, I don't want to. and then force them to do it. And they do it. And they post one post, and it doesn't work. And say, see? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, well, like, it's not. You're just looking for the no's, right? You're looking for the proof that it doesn't work. That was your mindset going in, so you've already lost.
Yeah.
Where, if I look at meditation as an example. Do you do meditation? You into meditation?
Not as much as I used to, but yeah.
I believe in meditation. I've never figured out how it works for me.
Okay.
I've tried multiple apps. I've tried lots of one-on-ones with meditation experts. I've never felt it, but I believe it works. I believe it works. I believe in the science. I just believe that I haven't found the path that it's going to work for me yet.
Yeah.
Even though I've gotten like 50 different no's that show me that it doesn't work for me. I've had some meditation teachers tell me the reason why it doesn't work for you is that you're always meditating. Like you're just how you go through life is your meditation already. And there's actually a little piece of me that believes that.
Yeah.
But if I believe that 100%, then I stop trying to find a meditation path that will work for me. And so are you looking for the no or are you looking for the yes? Like, if you really want it, then you have to start looking for the yeses. The 8 reasons why it's going to work out instead of the million no's that it won't.
I also think that people look for the no to justify not to do it.
They don't want to do it. They've already decided they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And if the first thing doesn't work, then they're out. Well, when does the first thing ever work? Like, trying to tie your shoelace for the first time didn't work. Trying to cook a chicken casserole for the first time didn't work. Like, trying to, whatever. The first time you try anything, doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you already decided going in, this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah.
And so if you go into something begrudgingly, it's not going to work. You've lost before you've even started. So go look for the yeses instead of the nos.
I have to agree. I mean, hell, I'm on my, I think it's 5th time of going for education to redo a career, and I've only just found what I want to do. I think, and most people would think at 33 to go back to university, oh, it's too late. But hell no. Hell no. That's the only time that no is okay, because you're like, hell no, I'm not giving up. I'm going forward. Like, you find something. I at one point wanted to be a drama teacher, and now I want to be a clinical psychologist. So the contrast between the two, I tried drama teacher, doing art, teaching assistant. I tried all these different ones. I wanted to work with the deaf at one point. I still want to in the future, but but I went through all that, and now I'm wanting to be a clinical psychologist. And who's to say in 10 years that might have not slightly changed? But I'm not. I'm open to that.
It's interesting. I think the drama and the clinical psychologist actually solves the same problem. But just the drama allows you to escape from it.
Yeah.
The psychologist allows you to fix it.
That's a very good point.
You're taking people who don't like their life, and they get to sit and watch a play and shut off their brain for a while and just enjoy the thing in front of them. And so you take them to a different world, at least good drama. You transport somebody to another world where they get to shut off their life and escape, where then they have to after the 2 hours or whatever, they're back to their life that they hate and the problems they have in their life. When you're working on your mental health, it's real work. It may suck to go through that journey and that work, but you're actually building a better life for yourself. And so you've always been attacking the same problem, but now you're doing it in the education instead of the entertainment.
Yep. I'd never thought of that. That's a good point, because when I was younger I was always trying to escape, whereas now I'm facing up to stuff. I'm going in deep. So that's given me a different perspective. I like that. I like that a lot.
Go.
So we're coming to the end, and I want to ask this. Well, first of all, if anybody wants to find you, where do they find you?
Evan Carmichael, wherever you're hanging out on social media, you'll find me.
I would say for me, top 10s are my favourite. I put one on every morning. So literally I start my morning and I use it as a like, right, I'm doing things, getting stuff done, getting ready for the day, and top 10 every morning. But my final question, I ask this to everybody.
Okay.
You meet somebody who's about to go through everything that you've ever experienced up until this point in your life. They're younger, they're in their teens, they're about to go through everything that you've gone through. But you're not allowed to tell them anything. You're not allowed to tell them what they're about to experience. You're not allowed to tell them the troubles, the triumphs, nothing. All you can do is give them 3 pieces of advice. What would it be?
One, I would say believe. It's a message I would give myself to my younger self. It's also the message if I'm 70-year-old looking back on 2018, 2019, Evan would still be believe. So that's the real mind twist. Believe more, believe harder. 2, just get started. Like start ASAP right now. The faster you go from an idea to execution to doing it is what will determine your success. And then 3, you said 3 pieces?
Yep.
3 would be, I would just give them a hug and tell them it's going to be okay.
Oh, I like that one. Not a lot of people say that, but I also believe that's one that should be done. Is because sometimes people just need the comfort, and a hug can go a long way. Not sometimes words don't cut it. A hug, it's action, and that warmth is. I've known to hug people and them to burst out into tears. Sometimes they just need that hug to just release it all. So yeah, that's the first time somebody said that. So hey.
Yes.
But I'd like to thank you for doing this. If people don't know this, they can actually go back. I actually started this podcast because Evan gave me a little bit of a push. I was thinking of doing it, and he said, well, if you're going to do it and have guests on, I'll be your 19th guest. Not exactly my 19th, but we got there in the end. But
what number am I?
I think you're 23.
Okay, we're almost there. Well, you overachieved. Okay, you know what? I want to be 119. I'm going to come back for episode 119, and let's make that happen.
You heard it here first, people. This is a man of his word, so... Yes, definitely have you on when we get to that point. But who knows, I might be doing video by then, you never know.
Nice, I like it.
But again, thank you, and thank you for inspiring millions as well. Like, I can't speak for everybody, I can only speak through me. I started watching you 2 years ago, and it's led off, not all my stuff has come directly from you, but the people that you've shown, and obviously meeting Lily and everything. So from me, I would like to say thank you. I'm really grateful for just finding your channel. So, and I'm sure other people feel exactly the same way.
Appreciate it, Lynn. Thank you for the love.
No worries, and hope you have the good rest of the day, and thank you for being here.
You too. Okay. See you at 119.
119, yep, see you then. Take care.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye.